ban right now in this game, because that was an absolute disaster last time. So.
You called it, Sharks. They banned
it is Aurelia.
Banned the Aurelia.
The Prophet. There we go. Also, the Syndra and the Lee Sin banned out from Dignitas, and Sivir and LeBlanc. I bet you predicted that one against
Dignitas might first pick Zed here, actually, right now, with all these bans going out, I think. Oh, okay. No,
boom. No.
No.
Well,
first pick. Nothing wrong with now as a pick. We still have Lissandra open. Janna is open still.
I'm really curious what they're going to do with the jungle pick, since the Jarvan and the Lee Sin are off the table, and they also already have an AD top, so I hope that Dig doesn't fall into the same trap that they did last game, where they just AD stack really hard.
Would they go for the jungle pick here and lock in immediately here now for Crumbs, knowing what we knew from the last game?
Well, they already see the bot lane, so I think it'd be okay to pick their bot lane if they just wanted to keep their picks ambiguous and not really show anything.
Right, on the other side, it is indeed Graves locked in and Janna solid combo. We didn't see too much, actually, of the bottom lane of Gambit in the previous game because it wasn't really necessary for them to step up, as mid and top were racking up the kills.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a big fan of Corki. I think he's just too strong to not pick him. And even when Graves and Janna is like a counter pick, Corki's mid game is just way too overwhelming to deal with, especially if he gets ahead. It's just so good that there's no reason to not pick it up. But I like that they lock in Ezreal. It gives them the flexibility of running this double AD composition again, and it's actually a flex pick, so we just have to see how the other two picks turn out. Like maybe they go for, like Corki is still up, we can see double AD. With Corki is actually good. I'm not like if you play double AD, you don't want to run Graves in it or like AD heavy stuff. Like Corki is very good for that because he still delivers at the AP magic damage. Yeah.
And Ezra also does magic damage with his ultimate and his W as well. So I think going double AD with the Corki would be okay, as long as they pick a heavy AP magic damage jungler.
Oh, the Sejuani lock-in, so happy to see that. And I'm sure Saint can tell me a lot about the changes here on 4-2-1 for Sejuani.
I personally hate the champion. I think she's terrible, but if you get going and you get a little bit of AP on her, she actually does snowball really hard, and she does a lot of burst damage. And on top of that, she has really good initiate, so if you are going against double AD team comp, and you hit an ultimate into that, you can just clean them up really easy. So I think in this specific situation, I think it's actually a really good pick.
And the Zed left open and locked in for Nick. It doesn't get through a lot, but now he did.
Yeah, I mean, normal response with Ahri, skill matchup. We saw Fabian play that matchup like both ways and completely crushing. Just a skill matchup. And I'm not sure how both players match up, so it's really interesting to see if Shifter can actually, like, it's his champion, his signature champion. So
and then the Rengar again, 4 Crumbs.
North American Rengar, I mean...
Yeah, I mean, he's been redeemed. He was great yesterday.
He played well.
Yeah.
Rengar. He played
pretty well.
So yeah, Rengar was banned last game, right? Was it?
I'm gonna, I can't remember. No, I can't remember.
The Azir pickup. That's actually going to be a top lane Azir. I've heard a couple of people playing this.
Azir top lane is pretty good, I think.
But the only problem with it is if you get into a 2v1 scenario and you actually get kind of behind, you can dive him really, really easy. And if you get behind his top lane Azir, you literally just die to anything. Like a gust of wind comes in and you just die.
Yeah, but you only need 2 items. It works the same way as Rumble. You can go 0-5 in lane, and then if you have those 2 items, you still do like so much damage that it's actually... Azir is Azir, after all. He's just way too good, right?
Yeah, and very excited to see that Azir top lane and Sejuani in the jungle. We'll see how it plays out for Gambit. We'll be on the Rift with Dignitas versus Gambit right after this.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Intel Extreme Masters Cologne, and we're about to get into our second game of the semi-final between Dignitas and Gambit. Some pretty excited Dignitas fans.
That's Sui just going a little bit too ham there. If you've ever read anything on the Dignitas webpage, it's generally him that posts it. Obviously, he does it a little bit excited.
He's having a lot of fun. I mean, I'd imagine if Dignitas are able to pick up game number 2, then we're going to have to get security him and control him for game number 3 if it continues that way. But let's get into this one here. See the 2 lineups on your screens, and there's a few questions for you, Deficio, in this one. Number 1, Azia top lane. Number 2, Sejuani in the jungle.
And number 3, Nikon and Assassin.
Yeah, I mean, all very good questions. Azia top lane is something we've seen quite a lot being played in terms of like scrims with the players, but also in solo queue. We've seen a lot. One-on-one is actually fairly strong. Saint touched about it though, if you do fall behind, it is very hard for you because Nar can just dive you over and over with the Rengar as well. And there's nothing the Sejuani can do to help you. It is okay in a lane swap, which we might see. I'm not expecting it because we have the Graves Jenna lane from Gambit on the bottom side, but it's actually decent enough because you can stand far back and farm, and they can never really deny you the CS.
Well, the Russian skin from Diamond Prox, would we expect anything else, actually was launched when the LCS was in Moscow. Back in 2013, that was a long time ago then. Very hot casting studio, that one, Joe, from what I remember. But Sejuani jungle, this is what we're going to talk about. You face this, apparently.
Yes, and it if it gets a good start, it can actually one-on-one your top laner even. What Diamond Prox will do, at least what he's been doing so far, is he's actually building Stalker's Blade into full tank. He doesn't even invest into any AP at all. You have your percent magic damage already from your W, was moved over in 421, and you just become this massively tanky pick running into people.
Or bear, as this skin is.
Could also be a bear this time around.
Bear pig thing.
So anyway, we are seeing a bit of a lane swap going on. We've seen Gambit send Pinoy alone towards the top lane. Edward actually helping Azia through the jungle, and Diamond starting on the top side by his Krugs.
Yeah, again, a little bit surprised about the lane swap, but it is one of the reasons you do pick Azir, because again, we're gonna see it in action. You can sit down with your support double ranged, and you can just farm with your soldiers. You put them very far ahead of yourself. You see it down his bottom lane here. As soon as Cabochard shows up, it is super hard to deny him, and he can actually get a lot of farm. So that's the reason they do it, even though they actually had fairly good lanes.
And also, Eddie playing as Janna versus Anami. We need to talk about this because this is something he's actually quite vocal about.
So he joined me on the desk yesterday doing one of the games, and he looked at me dead serious in the eyes and he said, Nami is trash at the moment. Because apparently, according to him, Janna is a super hard counter. We have talked about it before. Janna can out-trade the Nami with the shield on herself and just the auto-tech trade. But I want to see him prove it now in action here, how hard he can actually counter this Nami pick.
Well, so far that lane, I guess we can really say is going well for them, because Azir already up to double digits in terms of farm. Going to be a little bit harder for Nar, 1 versus 1 on the top side of the map.
And he's basically just a better version of an AD carry at the moment in this 2v2 lane, because he has so much early damage, so much poke. The whole reason they pick it is to do this lane swap, and also why they took Graves in the first rotation, because he's so strong in a one-on-one. He gets the extra armor as well from his passive and can actually stand toe-to-toe with the Gnar in the top lane.
In this mid lane we haven't seen a great deal of. Crumb's very low. Those Raptors are scary. So Crumb's played Rengar yesterday to great success, honestly. He had a fantastic Rengar game. It was against Aces High. We'll see how it works out for him today. And I mean, I remember on day one, Dexter was talking a lot about Rengar, how he believes he may well be back. And what do you think? Where do you see it standing in the tier list, as everyone likes to call them?
So a lot of junglers have very different opinions about Rengar. He's early clear. Is not very strong. He drops very, very low. He has to go back as well to actually regain the HP, and he can't really do any early ganks like we might see Diamond Prox doing this mid lane.
Yeah, going to come on through. A flash instantly there from Shifter. Would have been connected onto, and that might have spelled danger for him. We saw Charm into Orb, into W there, and really not a lot of damage going on to Diamond, and we'll see. You know, as you said, he usually just builds tanky, tanky, tanky. How much of a problem Diamond will actually become in this game. Across the board, though, if we compare some of the roles here, mid and AD carries pretty even on farm. The big deficit right now for Dignitas lies with Gamzu once again. Let's not forget game 1. He had a hell of a horrible time when he compared his farm with Cabochard.
Yeah, the thing is, though, with this should we call it a lane swap, where your top lane is actually just standard laning in the bottom lane with the support. The problem is you normally want to deny the enemy top laner from experience, but because you have one-on-one in the top side, Gamsu is just picking up all the XP he needs. Sure, he's a little bit behind in farm, but he will hit his level 6 very, very soon because he's getting this solo lane experience, whereas Z in this bottom lane is just trying to be a lane bully, basically.
Well, he went and got more mana, so he's stacked up, going towards that Morellonomicon, keeping that farm up, but no, not doing such a bad job. Gamsu keeping up in farm as he's a very good farmer himself from range. Crumbs down this bottom half of the jungle. Don't think he's going to be looking to a gank because at the moment it's just farm, farm, farm as quick as you can.
Yeah, we talked about Rengar before. His early clear wasn't very good. He drops very low while doing it, but he has been back already. He has the ranges. And we'll stun the minions and actually moving in here. He wants to level 6 before we can really see him gank on this Rengar. But once you get level 6, you are still as strong as ever here. You can set up a lot of picks, and it's what the Dignitas wants to do in this game here with the Ahri as well. Just create the picks.
Actually, Crumbs coming across this mid lane. Nick actually going a little bit low here. They need to be somewhat careful about that one. Nick, of course, still has his flash shifter. Use his in that first encounter. Meanwhile, Edwards continues to try and bully them out in this bottom lane, but with the bubble landing, that's a lot of damage, and Shifter's going to go for the dive here, and he's going to take down Nick as well. The Ignite going, the level up comes in, but it's just enough there with that Ignite to get the first blood for Dignitas.
A little bit greedy by Nick, staying around here, wanted to hit the level 6, and then Shifter again just showing how strong he's been this tournament. Pick up the first blood, exactly what they need onto this Ahri here.
Crumbs making a second visit. He's going to get that stun ready. Pounces will go towards the Krugs at the top. Let's see if he comes out with that stun ready. Could get level 6 as well. No, not off the Krugs this time around, but taking a hell of a beating off the Krugs, actually. As you mentioned, is not that strong, but hasn't got the stun. So, I'm going to say that's going to be a weak gank if he goes for it.
That would be a little bit too risky here, even though Gamsu, yeah, he's not even close to Mega now, so wouldn't really be able to dive
I
it.
should say it's a root, not a stun, but, you know, I know people
I don't
out
think
there,
anyone cares.
Oh, you'll be surprised how many people would care. I'm sure there's probably tweets about it already.
Yeah, Demon, you don't know anything about anything.
I know, right?
Meanwhile, this bottom lane continues to be pressured, actually, by Gambit. Cabochard and Edward doing a fantastic job down there. But Diamond still lurking on the top side of the map, was looking to get in, but, well, maybe not quite strong enough at this point. Actually running around in circles for a little while. Yeah, I think he's kind of like, okay, I've cleared my top side. I'm going to see if I can, you know, just get him in there for a bit of a peek, maybe towards blue buff, or maybe not, and I'll just go back, do my red buff.
The thing is, he used the flash on the very first gank, and obviously he traded flash with Shifter in the mid lane, but they never really managed to follow up then and try and gank him once again. And in the end, actually, it was a kill onto Nick. One-on-one, no flash for Shifter, so we haven't really seen Diamond do too much early on here, and now Crumbs has hit level 6 on Rengar with his lanes doing fairly well, so now he can really start joining the game.
Well, keep going with Gambit. I'm interested to see how, like, they're going to react to the meta. They've gone through a number of ways. First, it was just like lockdown dragon. Every chance you get, it used to be that was the Gambit way, and no matter how much you punished and got ahead, they always managed to somehow sneak dragons in there and keep equal in the game. We'll see how it stands with this 4.21 with all the dragon changes, whether they decide to keep that focus or whether they go towards the turrets. But we do have Diamond paying another visit. Ulti thrown out, I think it was there actually. Charm doesn't land, takes a damage, but yeah, that was ulti coming out of Diamond Procs, didn't quite land.
Yeah, it was, and look at Shifter here. Large Rod is his very, very first item. The thing is, in this matchup here, if you do well early on as the Ahri pick, you can actually skip the Arm Gods, at least in the start, and just aim full for AP. Codex is normally what we see because you won't have the first blood gold, but in this case he had 1600 gold. You can go for this magic damage here and basically just blow up Zed if anything happens. Now, as long as he times the Charm with the ulti from Nick, he will get the kill.
Look at that damage early on then out of Azir. And then we headed straight into that Morellonomicon. Gamsu, meanwhile, did go back. Picked himself up a Giant's Belt now on top of that Chains Vest. So probably going to be feeling a little more comfortable with going 1 versus 1 against Pinoy on that top side.
Yeah, so far Gambit has not really been winning out on making it a little swap here, sending their Azir bottom lane. They're very even in farm across the board. I mean, obviously Cabochard a little bit ahead. So in that case, I guess it is okay for them, but we haven't really seen too much of the tactic of what the idea was, other than try and bully out this Ezreal. Instead of using your Graves, you would just use your Azir.
Yeah, and you also saw that actually Pinoy is getting close to being able to not stand and solo lane against Gamsu anymore. That Gnar's becoming a little bit scary now. He's already hit level 8. And the Sunfire Cape's almost completed. Only with the pickaxe. If he gets caught out, he's going to get slammed and destroyed.
Oh, look at Crumbs here. He wants to go in.
Oh, and he is going to appear around the backside of them in just a second, but is he going to be able to get in there? We'll dive through. In comes the wave as well. Cabochard will put down a good ultimate, but they'll just flash on through, and it's a double kill for that trash Nami in the bottom lane. Not working out as expected for Eddie.
No, but I mean, we just saw exactly why Rengar is still such a good pick. If you get your level 6, you can do these ganks here where you jump in, you 100% hit your bowler strike onto them because you can catch it or you can fire it while you're in the air. So it's basically just close to a point and click on the target. You can't even use your ulti as Jen at this point because you're already rooted, and therefore just easy follow-up. 2 kills. Dragon as well. We even have teleport used in top lane by Gamsu. And Nick, will he survive?
He's going to go for it, but he got the support of the team. Where's he going? Going to get away. Gets the kill. Just about. Very low on hit points, but he survives. And it was a nice pickup in the end, but Dragon goes to Dignitas.
Yeah, still a nice play though by Nick here. Just landed his Q in the very end and got the last damage to pop Shifter down. That's obviously the risk when you don't build this arm guard early on. You will be very squishy. It's all about killing him before he can kill you.
Angry Eddie. He's coming back again. He's not going to allow you to get away, that Kiwi kid. Going to continue chasing. Cabochard coming round. Ooh. Not quite going to land on him. But they can get some poke on towards his tower.
Yeah, Kiwi Kid here, gonna hang around. We are gonna see True Shot Barrage coming through, which will wipe out most of the minion wave. And we'll make sure that they can't do too much onto that tower. Meanwhile, Pinoy, who's really had this 1 versus 1 the entire game so far, up against Gamsu, as you mentioned, starting to have maybe a few more issues now that Gamsu's got some levels behind him and can finally go in once he gets to that Mega Gnar stage. And, well, Pinoy knows is there and is actually going to go through on this one. Ulti will be used.
He missed the ward on the bush, didn't he? That didn't go in. Yeah, that's not in the bush.
Sure, but still, I mean, you already have the Chain West. You're going to get the Sunfire on the Gnar here. And I mean, that was the full combo from Pinoy onto him. It didn't really do too much. I'm not sure if Gambit wants to wait for the level 11 here on Pinoy, get the rank 2 of your ulti on the Graves, and then look for a fight where you have your massive power spike on him. And in that case, the animated carry is a bit behind. But look at the level difference between Azir and Gnar as well. We can't ignore the fact that Gnar will be able to jump in there. He will get 11 as well because he's been getting solo lane XP the entire time. I mean, he's not been denied at all.
Crumbs having a little poke towards Nick, who tried to clear out the wall, protect his ping, but that has gone down. And it's a little bit of movement here. We'll see whether Rengar decides to pay another visit to the bot lane. He's around that tri-bush at the moment. We'll sweep it out and clear the ward that Eddie managed to get down there. They're keeping the pressure on. So 80 carries at the moment. Core JJ in the lead with CS, and of course Cabochard is leading Gamsu. But as we mentioned earlier on, this lane swap is kind of not really benefiting them too much. It's actually staying fairly even. It's a case of when that DFG is completed by Shifter, will he start roaming? Blade of the Rune King has been completed by Nick. Will we see him going for ganks? Crumbs going through the jungle may well be one of them.
Yeah, we do see Gambit with their comp here. I mean, they can set up for this 1-4 split push we so often see in this new patch because split pushing has become so strong again. The Baron buff, even the Dragon changes. Zed can be the guy to go split push, and as long as he gets a good start, you should see him do it. And then Azir, fantastic at sieging down and poking towers, joined by the Graves and the Janna.
We also have the diving here from Gamsu. There's a surprise, but no, he's also there. Can he kill off Cabochard? Yes, he can. And now Shifter moving in towards his top lane. The charm doesn't land, but do they have the damage? There's the damage from the orb coming back, and it's not going to take much more. One more auto attack in the end from Shifter is enough. Meanwhile, down on the bottom lane, they managed to kill off Core JJ. Kiwi Kid, though, will be able to back out.
And this is what you can do with the Graves in this bottom lane, who's a level ahead. He has the BF store completed as well. You have so much burst. The Ashwell cannot trade with you. He's going for instant upgrade in the mana immune because he wants to go for this blue build, which means your power spike is delayed. You need to fully stack your tier. It is still the optimal way to build it, but you have to fully stack it up now. Just see it once again. Just a standard 2v2 trade. Again. Oh, flashing forward actually.
God. Well,
yeah.
That's the burst.
Not much to show, really. No. Just Graves blowing him up.
That's clear. I gotta wonder whether Nick, if it had followed through, maybe followed up towards the top lane, or even gone down the bottom, you know, they would have picked maybe more up instead. They chose to go for the tower in that mid lane, didn't get it down, And of course that meant the death of both Cabochard and Diamond, who themselves, I guess they just thought they had control of the situation because they had that gank set up and they did get the kill first, but as soon as Shifter showed up, it was only going to go one way.
It would have been a 1-for-1 if Shifter didn't actually roam up there, so maybe a little bit of miscommunication. Maybe they didn't actually see him roam up, Nick couldn't call it, and therefore Dignitas actually won out on the trade. But because of what happened in the bottom lane, Gambit can be too unhappy.
Actually gives Shifter a bit of a red buff to play with in that mid lane. Probably not going to impact too much unless he's deciding to go aggressive onto Zed, which could well happen with that DFG in there.
Yeah, and this Zed pick here for Nick, it's going to be a bit tough for him to find targets, because we have seen as well, especially over in Korea where Ezreal is being played a lot, people will go for this blue build with Iceborne Gauntlet against Zed because you get the armor and you can kind of like kite him around, you can survive his initial burst. Meaning, I mean, he might be looking for someone like a Shifter, but if he goes for an Hourglass, then suddenly he's really running out of targets.
We haven't seen a great deal from Diamond Prox either. He's made a couple of gank attempts, but to no avail. Did manage to get that one in the top. Whoop, we got to pause. See what that is. Doesn't look like it's the Gambit team because there's no admin with them. It must well be Dignitas. So, I wonder. Dignitas, they have themselves the kill lead, the gold lead. Only just the gold lead, by the way. And we're equal in turrets. This is a tight game. Considering Dignitas are 1-0 down, how are they looking in this?
I mean, so far, because they got so much farm on the Gnar, they got the early Sunfire as well, so he could actually stand his own against the Graves. I feel like they're doing okay. You have an early Man and Moon complete on Israel, so that's going to be stacking very, very fast. You want to get it upgraded into Moro Mana, and you want to get the Iceborne Gauntlet, and you can start having these trades where you have the poke come in from him and Ahri, and you can just kite around and wait for Crumbs to make the engage. That's going to be the big deal here. Eddie needs to be on point with his ultis, because otherwise Dignitas, once the engage comes in from Rengar, they can just pile onto Gambit and kill them.
Actually, all of Dignitas left the game there, so... And I don't know why, Crumbs is just not showing anyone his mouse today. I just noticed that. He's either that or he's got a really sweaty right hand.
Apparently, I mean, he always has it.
I'm going to guess it's a sweaty right hand. Yeah, he does, yeah.
He always has the thing on his mouse, and I'm actually not 100% sure why.
He's not got a different sponsor, that's all it is. It's just like covering it up. It's like, OD's in the building, I best not show this one. Well, as it stands, Dignitas, they are leading 1-0 in this best-of-3 series. We'll see whether they can reach the finals. Gambit, the most successful team in the Intel Extreme Masters history. They've won it many, many times back in the early days of 2012, 2013. But it's been a while since they won an Intel Extreme Masters, that's for sure. Of course, KT Bullets were the one that stopped them at the World Championships back in March. What do we make of them so far? This is a new setup we're kind of seeing. This is kind of this is our first viewing of them, really. With obviously Cabochard, we saw him substitute when he was in London. Diamond Prox back in the team. Had a fantastic relegation promotion matchup. And alongside Eddie as well, they both played brilliantly. Pinoy, of course, he came in, I think it was the last week, 2 weeks of the LCS. I think it was somewhere around there. And of course, Nick, of course, the whole season. I think they're not exactly setting the world on fire, but they're also fairly steady.
It's always hard as well, I think, at this stage to say this is full power Gambit right now. Are they against a full power Dignitas? Probably not, most likely not.
It is still the preseason. A lot of things you need to work out here in the start, especially with all the new members. And obviously, it's pretty much impossible for this Gambit lineup to live up to the hype that belongs with the Gambit name, and Moscow 5 in that case.
So just a quick update for you guys. Apparently the Dignitas guys have got a visual bug, which obviously they're just trying to figure out what exactly is going on there. Shifter doing all the communication, so I assume it might be with him or with Gamsu, actually, who's just left the game and will be coming back in. But, you know, this gives them a little bit of time to gather their thoughts. Actually, my idea was that they're not allowed to talk normally during a pause, but
it's not the LCS.
Normally the rules.
That's true.
Normally the rules.
Yeah, it's not the LCS anymore. We don't rule with an iron fist at the moment, although it is the exact same referees stood behind them, by the way. You can see Piotr is there as well. He's the riot man on site, keeping things ticking. Alongside Dave, who has done what? 2-3 years of LCS, 2 years obviously here.
The boss,
and then the
indeed.
IEM the last 2 years before that. So he's been probably the most experienced referee in League of Legends, I would say.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely, and you know, not just Intel Extreme Masters, but all the way back to right at the start
All the
with
Go
for LOL.
Oh yeah, good old days with the Go for LOL.
Exactly, good old Go for LOL. Which, by the way, you guys, if you want to get into play, still exists as Gamzu here. Gonna be flashing away. Diamond actually saved his ultimate there pretty late, throwing that one out, and by the time he actually threw it, Gamzu had already flashed off.
Well, the idea was pretty good here because you wanted him to flash first and then throw the ulti and like stun him, and you could then follow up, but just got a little bit out of range here from Gamsu. Still, Azir can really do some damage to this tower.
Well, Dragon spawned, but in a moment they're going to come back
Diamond's
around
not
for
done.
Gamsu. Diamond wants to tank this one out. He's going to try and take him down. Gamsu, very low hit points. Turns into Mega Nut. Can he slam them both down? Oh, so close. Cabashot, true shot barrage, not enough. But the problem is, will Shifter come for it? I would go for kills. That's why I'm not a pro.
It take him about 2 hours to get up there. That's most of the problem with that one. And we see, you know, Core JJ, Blue Build Ezreal, not going to give you the most amount of damage right at the start. Would have probably killed him off a little bit later on. However, Dignitas' response to that kill is taking a Dragon here. So
Yeah.
Dragon going down bottom side. They will lose this top turret though.
Second Dragon of the game here to Gambit, and also the reason we didn't see Shifter move up to this top lane, because you wanted to make sure they could take this Dragon buff here, trade it for that one kill onto Gamsu in the top lane.
So, question answered. They'll trade it quite happily. 2 Dragons for Dignitas now. We'll see how that keeps on stacking. It's a dangerous time for Gambit. They are heading gold with that tower going down all square on turrets, but they are setting up for a kill. Crumbs just off the side right now, waiting to go for that kill. Nick not going to fall for it, but will Diamond. He's still on a ward. Spots that one out. We'll clear that, and he's going to keep walking straight into a charm, I feel. They're going to pounce on towards him. Have they got enough damage to burst him? You bet your life they have. But now Gambit try and close on towards Crumbs. Crumbs getting shot down. He will be taken down. Eddie caught in an Aqua Prison. Has to flash out the Ignite running. The shield and heal from Pinoy is enough to save him. An equal trade. Both junglers down. A lot of summoner spells burned.
A lot of things burned here, but it is, once again though, Ahri and the Rengar picks setting up the picks every single time they can. As long as you have the vision control here and you force the enemy team to walk in and face check you, you land a charm or the Polar Strike from the Rengar, and you can just get these picks.
Can they get the turret though? I'm not sure that they can with both Graves and Azir coming around to help out Nick there. And in the end, Dignitas having to back away from that one. Not from the bottom lane though. Core JJ is already onto that one and has already taken it down to half HP. He's got a decent little wave with him as well. And now Kiwi Kid joining in should mean that Dignitas get their 3rd turret of the game. That was the ultimate out of Pinoy right at the end, but that will only get rid of the minions and doesn't stop his tower going down.
No, but it is super important here that you have all the outer turrets gone, because it opens up the map. We always talk about how now you can walk, step further inside the enemy jungle, place your wards, and once again, set up these easy engages for Crumb, so he knows he can jump in without being blown up himself.
Well, there's one item that Kiwi Kid loves. It's the Soul Stealer. Oh yeah, got it again, stacking up.
It is... it is such a risky buy. You don't need it on Nami. You do not need any AP
juices
on Nami at all. I mean, all you're doing is basically you land a bubble, you land your wave, and then you are the hero of the game. You heal in the late game. You will never get enough AP to make it super efficient. Mikhails again would be a great option against something like a Sejuani. Engage here onto a target.
Well, turrets equal once again as that middle one goes down. All outers now picked off. Where are the teams going to go from here? Very equal lane phase, but let's not forget the Dragon advantage is with Dignitas. We can see, of course, that middle turret. Not so sure what you wanted to show us there, buddy, but it's a great turret nonetheless. And it is going to be the blue buff for Eddie. I hate that, by the way. I'm just going to say it. You know, I hate it. They chose 4-3 now. It's not 4-3 at all because that's an Azir turret been taken down in the top.
Well, I will tell someone to fix it for you.
Please do, because that's actually what they were showing me, that tower is still standing because they've taken 2 Azir turrets down. 3-2.
You're not wrong.
It's 3-2. Can't believe the scoreboard anymore. What am I meant to do? I've got to keep count. You know how bad that goes.
Yeah. Quick look at the mini-map. or you just have to, you know, preface every time you read out the turret scores with plus Azir turrets as well. Right now, though, we are seeing Gambit starting to close in onto the bottom side of Dignitas' jungle. Are they going to be able to pick anyone up? Don't think they will, but getting wards down is like, this is the time to be doing that now with those outer turrets down.
Yeah.
We've seen their diamond procs getting worn by the red buff, one a little bit deeper than that. I'm sure want to have one up by the Raptor camp on the side as well, but for now, he might be forced to back away from this one because Dignitas are once again moving into position to have a bit of a pop at this middle outer turret, but again we see the damage coming out from Azir.
But this is the game plan here for Gambit. You ward up the jungle, and then you have Splitbone going, oh, a lot of damage down. You're dead.
Yeah, well, that wasn't the target they were actually going for. It was Cabochard. Instead, will go down around the side. Just held on for now. The heal isn't going to be ticking. Oh, and Pinoy gets a kill, but he gets exploded up. That's ultimate from Diamond, but they've got no follow-up damage now. They do manage to get a little poke on towards them, but it keeps them away. Zed was trying to split push the bottom, but now he's in trouble. Gamsu comes down. Will he stick around? Keeps him alive. And actually, Nick doesn't fancy this. He's going to turn for it anyway. Nick bounces away, goes on the tower. Is it going to be enough to pop him round there? I don't think it is. And Nick will run for his life. Middle turret goes to Dignitas, and now they start to take control of the game.
And this is really the amazing thing about the comp from Dignitas. The comp they are running right here. You have the Rengar who can always start the fights here. Easy follow-up when you have the Nami, you have the Ari, just to land your CC and just blow up the target. I mean, Eddie right here used his ulti to disengage, and Kivik is like, okay, troll phase on, land the bubble where Janna is standing, dancing around with a monsoon, and then you just have a pig onto him, take the tower as well.
And the thing is, like, Diamond landed a great ulti. He caught 3 of them all clumped together. Wouldn't it be great if you like had a Zed stood in amongst them doing damage, some sort of AE damage, you know? Just saying, maybe it could have been nice if Nick was with the team there. It's like, I'm seeing obviously the Sejuani, the ball that's been picked up. Are they using it correctly? Because he's going to always want to flank. He's always going to land that stun if he gets in the right place. But you need something to back it up.
Yeah, you do for sure. I mean, right now, the only thing they have is their Azir poke, and then obviously Graves can try and all in with it. But it's not really what you want to do when you have the Zed split pushing. You actually want to rely on not fighting with the 4 members in mid lane and let Zed do the job one-on-one, and you can just disengage. But they're simply not able to do it here. Crumbs again looking for a fight.
They've got the mid turret completely cornered off here though. Gambit are going to try and run around the side. Diamond using that mobility, but I think that's the inner turret going down. They're going to flank around the side. Is it going to be enough to get around there? No. Turret gone already.
Oh, wow.
And, well, he just got absolutely destroyed, and they're going to keep on chasing.
Yeah, there is Shifter going in, but here comes Graves on the side. Pinoy doing some good damage there. Will flash away from Nara as well. The shutdown comes in for Eddie. Crumbs is going to die. I'm not sure that Gamzu's going to escape this one now with Edward and the rest of the team following in. And just like that, a 4-for-1 here in favor of Gambit. They're pinging Baron. They're going for it.
And just as you talked about before here, Nick, when the Sejuani goes in, if he's there, he can actually pop the 80 carry. So many people are locked down, and Gambit just rolled straight over. They just picked up 4 members. It's going to be Baron as well. I mean, Tilburg come in from a Z. It's 5 members now.
And Cabochard was dead. That was a 4v5. The whole fight. He goes down so quick at the start, yet they picked the win up.
Well, look at this here. So, Core JJ is actually standing in the front, so he's an easy target for Nick to go towards. He gets a full combo. Darnbrooks goes in, followed by AoE from Pinoy, and actually a super aggressive flasher down to Edward, and then clean up from here. Very, very nice setup. It is fun to see a Zed in a team fight, because normally, again, he is the spray pushing, but this time around, because Core JJ were in the front, nice engaged by Nick.
And that gives the Baron buff over to Gambit now. What are they going to do with this one? For now, it's more about pushing these waves out. Cabochard will be sent to push bottom out. The top lane is sat at about halfway down the lane. I'm sure someone will head up there in just a moment. We've seen a few big items come in recently. Mikhail's for Edward, Shiv on Graves, Locket of the Iron Solari on Diamond. We also saw a Ghost Blade finished off. Which actually, where is that?
It is on the Rengar.
Oh, it's on Rengar.
Yeah.
It's because my chat was a little bit hidden. I just assumed, you know, after the Baron picked up, he was in fact there were 4 Crumbs. So see how that one all works on going forward, and we may get to see that in action.
Look at his bottom lane.
Right now in the bottom lane, we've seen Crumbs inside of the brush. He's going to wait to jump out on top of Zed, who's not coming.
Smart play. Super smart. He doesn't see the members here, or the players, sorry, from Dignitas on the map, and he's just assuming, okay, someone is waiting. Could even just be the Ari here, and if you get hit by that charm, you will get one shot at this point. There's Last Whisper now for Nick, which means he can actually start one-on-oneing the Gamzu or the Gnar. But we might just see him stick with his team simply because there's so many engaged options, and if he's not there and they get caught out of position, they lose the fight again.
Look at Gamzu. He's got Mega Gnar almost ready. He's going to try and flank around on towards Gambit. This is not sure this is the right play. This is a Baroned up Gambit, let's not forget. They are pushing forward. Tried to go for the flank. Could have worked well if Gamzu would have turned into that Mega Gnar on them, but instead he's going to go back to the top lane and keep on pushing.
But that was super important here. Ulti used by Crumbs, the main engage, which simply means now 2 lanes can be pushed down. You see Nick already in the bottom side here. You have the Baron minions. This could be a tower, or should be a tower for Gambit, at least in the bottom lane.
Let's see if they can catch them as they rotate. There's a pink ward down there. Kabashard will take that red buff. Shifter looking to make a move and then realize, should probably not go through this jungle. And Gambit take themselves an easy turret. God knows what the turret score is right now because it says 7-4. I'm not going to believe that at all. I think it's 5-4 actually. If I look across, yep.
4.
Yeah, 4. 4-4.
Yeah, I mean, we're obviously just being tested at this point to see if we can actually count, which you guys know by now the answer to that one is a very resounding no. We do, however, have Zed in the mid lane. The rest of Gambit is pretty much down on this bottom side, and it's going to be a case by the looks of it, just moving up onto this middle lane. You can see him having to get in range to finally kill off those empowered cannon minions. And Gambit seems like, with the Baron buff now running out, decide enough pushing for now. But now this game looking good for Dignitas at the start, slowly but surely creeping into Gambit's favor.
It was looking so good before here. Shifter, again, he's just been playing out of his mind. He's getting picks left and right, doing a super good job. But then you have that one team fight, once again in the mid lane. Gambit takes it, runs in, takes the Baron here. It's a bit harder to use it now as a snowball because it's a minute shorter than it was before. But still managed to get the bot tower, showed how to play it once again, split up in 2 lanes, push the minions in, and you just buff them off with the Baron and take down a tower.
So if they want to keep flanking or preventing flanks, then Dignitas need to get some wards across them sides to stop Diamond Prox making those moves. But of course he could just run straight up the middle, straight onto you. QSS has been picked up by Core JJ. Zonya's also was completed by Shifter. So there's a few less targets that they could focus on. Also, let's not forget Zed. Nick will be looking to get that ultimate down on him. So there's a few safer targets for them. So is this a matter of time? Will Dignitas slowly outgrow Gambit?
Well, the problem is Azir scales into late game like an absolute monster here. So it's not even like they're going to be weaker, even though Zed has a harder time finding a target. I mean, he can go for Crumbs if he wants to when he engages in. Diamond Prox is going to be super tanky into late game. And I actually think he's just going to use his ulti to peel instead of actually engaging, because you know the other team will jump onto you. So just save it, use it on the back or the front line of the enemy team, so your carries now stays alive, because we have seen Pino the damage he can deal as long as he doesn't get popped instantly by Shifter.
Well, there's another dragon coming in, and that one is going over to Gambit. Second one of the game for them. Let's see what they can do with that extra power. Actually, Dignitas going to move around. Crumbs trying to get in on top of him. True Shot Barrage did come across there as well, but really not doing a lot, to be honest, for Dignitas. That will be 2 ultimates just thrown out there. I mean, not going to be on the biggest of cooldowns, to be fair, but still, maybe if they're called into action in the near future, won't be ready for them.
Yeah, the last 2 ultis by Crumbs here has not been working out for him at all. You do see the way the walls are placed here by them, though, in their own jungle. Very defensive ping wards, because you want to have a spot for Rengar to stand and pop her ulti, and obviously the way for Gambit to avoid it is by having deep wards themselves. So we see a lot of focus by Dignitas here on getting deep defensive ping wards.
So Kabashard had nicely left that build-up, that slow build-up of minions in the top wave, and look what just happened. Pinoy went up there and went, oh, all these free minions. I can get there. It was meant to be the slow build-up so they could push on the tower instead. Pinoy just went round and cleared the way.
It's an EU 80 carry thing, man. They're all so greedy for the farm.
And they do the same thing as well. That's not discredited. But he has got some free time, but unfortunately that's just basically shoved it in. Crumbs is there at the moment. Diamond keeping Gamzu busy, and actually that's That's Mega Gnar already used. He's just going to bounce away, but that was a wasted wave.
Yeah, as you just talked about, it actually meant now in the bottom lane, Nick couldn't get to push up the waves, so you just lost your entire wave being built up in the top side. You have to wait now to rebuild it if you want to actually pressure these lanes. With Nick down his bottom side, we might see an engage coming in.
Yeah, going in towards Crumbs there is the lockup, but actually a lot of it missing. They are going to go towards Diamond Prots. Well, look how tanky he is. Eddie's coming from the bottom side at this point, and well, not really a lot they could do. Tanky as hell was Diamond, but there were 4 and 5 men on him.
It's also 5 versus 4. In the first place, Nick is still down his bottom lane trying to push it in.
Well, they're taking the mid turret and they're going to run the hell away. They've managed to get a turret down, so a turret for a death actually works out, but it was a wasteful death at best.
Yeah, but smart little decision at least, making the best out of the situation from Gambit here. Seeing the 5 members collapse onto Diamond Box and instantly just run mid lane, push it in. And we're not done yet.
No, Eddie in trouble, flashed away, but I don't think he's going to be able to escape. Mega Gnar does get caught. Oh, the Bolo just catching on towards him, still slow. Good Howling Gale. Core JJ is going to catch him again. Everything's slowing him down. Nick, what the hell? Well, it's quite clear that Nick can't 4v1 Dignitas. No, that's not going to happen.
No, I think he tried to be the hero here and stopped him from chasing, and Gam just smacks him into the wall instantly.
Yeah, you're gonna have to be quicker than that if you're to actually escape with your life intact. And the way that Dignitas are running towards his top side tells me that they may be fancying the second coming of Baron, and they are going to be kicking this one off. Diamond,
this is dangerous.
Gambit
is super split up though.
Number 1. Can he do it here again? He's got no vision, but will spot them as he does come around the side. There is his ultimate already used. Baron is going to be going low here in a second. Diamond's still very healthy from this one. Rest of the team coming around. Crumbs is going to die in the backside. This is surely going to go pear-shaped for Dignitas. Mega Gnar doing the work there. But we're going to see a Zia come in. That will be 1 kill for him. Gnar did get away, but look at the Baron. 1600 HP. Gambit are going to go in and say thank you very much.
And once again, Gambit, they punish every single time the enemy team overextends against them. This is something we have seen from Gambit forever. A few years back, they would just take full advantage of the other team. They're doing it again here. If we get the replay, we have to notice Pinoy. That is a very, very manly Graves we're going to see flashing past the Dignitas here and just picking up the kills.
I actually wasn't sure whether Diamond had used the ulti there, just too early.
Well, he used it in 2 moments. He got shifted super low, actually forced his ulti and the Outlast. Look here, Pinoy. AD carry going 1v3 in the back line, stays alive as well, and just cleans up the kill. And now the Baron, well, he's there for Gambit to take.
Yeah, I think what he says was they told me that I should flank, so I better flash to the other side, so it looks like I actually did flanking on that one. Meanwhile, in the bottom side of the jungle, there's a dead Kiwi kid. Actually, there was, I think Crumbs used his ultimate there again to try and get in. Yeah, he is stealthed up, so did use his ulti. He's going to use the Ghost Blade as well. Let's see what Pinoy can do. Absolutely destroys him. Well, that didn't go to plan.
No, it's not been the best day for Crumbs. I think it's safe to say.
Not the best day for Dignitas right now. The inhibitor turret goes down. Number 1 may well fall here. Diamond going to keep tanking up on Gamsi. They're doing everything they can to try and keep focusing the tank, who just turns around, throws his ulti down. Mega Gnar comes out, but in comes Pinoy. Can he get yet more kills? Shifter taken low. Flashes away from that one with a Spirit Rush, and that is another inhibitor going down. That's 2 for Gambit. Can they finish? I'm not sure they quite got it in the bank yet.
They do have a lot of minions here with the Baron buff as well. They're going for it.
I think they can do this one. They do manage to catch out Cabochard, though. That might be the changer in this one. First Nexus turret has gone down at this point. The wave will come through, but no one's surfing today. Too cold here in Germany. And Gambit decide, well, back away from this one for now. With that Baron buff intact and taking down 2 inhibitors plus the Nexus turret.
Looking really good for Gambit at the moment. The last few ultis we have seen out of Crumbs has not hit anything. And that's been one of the reasons Gambit has just been able to win the fights here. We see how strong Pinoy is at this point. I mean, Crumbs jumps him, just turns around, smacks him in the face, and he's dead.
I guess that's one of the problems that you're going to have with the full damage Rengar as well, right?
It is, yeah. You're super squishy, and you basically rely on popping a target instantly because you cannot take any damage. And also when you have this blue build Israel, I mean, this is what you talked about earlier, Lee, where you asked, how is the late game going to look? When you have a Z on one side, Graves as well, who will outscale the blue bull Israel, you have so much damage on the side of Gambit, and unless Shifter can pop a target instantly, then Dignitas can really win any fights. Diamond, he's been extremely tanky, and this is the build he's been running in solo queue. No AP, he doesn't need any damage, just go full tank, run around, peel for your carries.
Ooh, Shifter, they're trying to set up for a kill, but I don't think they realize Diamond is so nearby. There's 4 of them actually in the lower half of the jungle. Nick will pop the pink ward straight on towards Crumbs' head. It's got a GA as well. And while that's all happening, it's left the top exposed. That's the final inhibitor turret. And Gambit are moving there in force. Kabashard may actually fancy this one. Goes in towards Core JJ, and you see just one little poke from that minion he has. Does do a heck of a lot of damage. Pinoy on towards the... Wow, inhib turret just getting chunked down. No doubt about it. Pinoy has a heck of a lot of damage behind him.
Yeah, those turrets can't really stand when you've got a big Graves like this and a Zia coming in. I mean, they just get absolutely destroyed. We saw how fast they killed those 2 inhibitors off earlier on, the Nexus turret as well. And there's the jump through. Gamzu is going to get his ultimate off. Pinoy's going to be the focus of this one, but look at the damage from the side. And they managed to get themselves 3 kills here while surviving as well. Diamond Prox is now going to dive right into the middle of them. Keep Kiwi Kid slowed, which means the rest of the team could come through. Shifter now, last man left up. He will be finished off. It's an 8th for Gambit. They're going to win the second semi-final 2-0 and move through into tomorrow's Intel Extreme Masters Cologne Grand Final to face CLG.
And just some super good team fights in this game here from Gambit. Every single time they were 5 together, they would win the fight. When they tried to split push, we saw the engages come in from Dignitas here and actually picking up some kills. Shifter on Ari looks super good. But as soon as Gambit said, you know what, now we're strong enough, we don't even need Zed to split push, we can just get in with the team and win these team fights.
And you saw just at the end there, Pinoy, like, what I'd like to say is a manly man. He had the Iron Locket and the Solara from Diamond Prox, the shield from Janna, and the Mikhails from Eddie coming out there. Everything kept him alive. And then, of course, he's got his own lifesteal with the Bloodthirster. Wow. Amazing game, amazing finish, an amazing turnaround, honestly. And you've got to wonder, you know, obviously for Dignitas, they're going to look back to that one key moment. They went for the Baron, and sure as hell, it's Dignitas all over again. The Baron throw is real.
The Baron throw, and also it's just a fight in the mid lane they had where they were pushing up. Gambit got the 4 kills and took the first Baron of the game, and actually just got such a big lead from it. They pushed down a few more towers. All in all, I mean, a lot of things to work on for both teams, but we have to say, Pinoy in these team fights, outside the laning phase, he's looking damn solid.
Yeah, that's what you got to wonder. We always said that Genji needed to be, you know, a little bit more aggressive at times, and maybe this is the kind of play style that we need. You mentioned yourself that it was never a massive name when you look back into solo queue, but if he fits the mold of what Gambit really need, and he certainly did this time around, then they might have a successful future ahead of them.
The variation as well from the top laner, Kabashard, you know, that's something refreshing, I think, for Gambit fans out there. Yeah. Obviously, they used to get that back in Season 2 from Darian, but he pulled back to the norm. Obtain and Azir in the top lane, very nice to see. Seshwani in the jungle as well.
I quite liked it.
Things are looking good for the ULCS.
I think he was super strong. I like the full tank build. You're super tanky, you have a lot of peel, you can even engage with your ulti. I actually think it's a pretty solid pick.
Well, fantastic win there. Gambit moving through. Who would have thought it? Intel Extreme Masters at Gambit are doing well. Well, they're going to head over to the analyst desk to break down that win for Gambit.